Greetings, NSBE U of M. My name is Delano White. Uh, I am a proud alumni of the University of Michigan College Engineering, uh, degree in chemical engineering. Say hello to Professor Montgomery for me and definitely Professor Thompson. Um, I'm saddened I couldn't be there. I am stuck in the snow out of town, doing some book promotion and working on other projects. Uh, but when I got the invitation to talk about the evolution of NSBE, I think it is something that's very important to me. Just looking at where I have been with NSBE, I served on the chapter executive board as a community service chairperson. I served on the Region 4 executive board as a programs chairperson and subsequently as a regional chairperson. And then I was honored to serve on the national executive board as your convention planning chairperson, the national vice chairperson, and humbly served as your national chairman and CEO for 2 years. What NSBE means and NSBE U of M means, I think I can honestly say that NSBE probably, if not saved my life, put me in a position where I am. Growing up, I was always told you're good in math, you're good in science, go to Michigan. You go to Michigan as an engineer. And there was never any thought put to it. So I was at Michigan floundering because I didn't know who I was, what I wanted to be, making bad decisions. And eventually, Sean Ferguson, who was the president of the chapter, invited me to come to a meeting in a 1013 dial. And, for those of us chemies, you spend 15 to 20 hours a day in 1013 dial. And you can't always say it's a happy place. You're in the room, you're sitting next to Becky, who doesn't know you, but has this preconceived notion that you don't belong at this university. And so, you deal with some of those issues, and U of M has, I credit University of Michigan for taking the lead in a lot of the diversity issues. But there are individuals who fight against that. So you do have that feeling at U of M, in some cases, that you aren't wanted even where you're supposed to be at. And so going to the NSBE meetings, which were held in 1013 dial, as much frustration as I had, I could go to 1013 dial every other Friday at 5 p.m., and that was my family. And I think that's what NSBE was. And I can honestly say, after that first meeting that Sean invited me to, I didn't miss another one. And I think what NSBE was, for me, was family. This was before Facebook and Twitter. This was when you had real friends, people you saw, people you talked with, people you sat with in the El Rock Cafe, the ELRC, and talked about life and, worked together and studied together. That's what NSBE was on the chapter level. That's what you got when you went to the regional conference. You had 800 people, who at that time didn't walk around with Blackberries in their pocket. When we were there, we were there. It was a bunker where we were there sharing our experiences, whether you were at Michigan, whether you were at Northwestern, whether you were at Ohio State, wherever you were, we had these common bonds because we were family. And then you went to the national convention and had 8,000 people, before NOL, and lines were around the corner, but you still had that family. Then you got to bond, and I have friends, people that I would consider brothers, from Texas, Florida, Arizona, that I would have never met if not for NSBE. And that's what NSBE, was. And I think NSBE is at a point now, you could call it a crossroads, where we've moved from more of the family atmosphere, and a lot of this is through the advent of technology. Everything is virtual, so, and NSBE with that, we've moved from more of that family, mom and pop organization to more of a business, and for better or worse. And I think we're as an organization, we're at a crossroads because we need to define, for those movie fans, whether we want to look good and lose or look bad and win. So as a chapter, we have to start asking ourselves, is 200 people our ultimate goal? Would that make us warm and fuzzy? Nationally, is 40,000 people going to make us warm and fuzzy when down the road, 30 minutes away in Detroit, there are kids graduating with 3.8 GPAs and can't get into any kind of school because they don't have the basic skills to pass the entrance exam? Are we going to be happy, With these numbers and crime rates in the cities from which we come from are steadily on the rise. So the question for NSBE is, what does all this mean, and what are we going to do with this power that we do have? And I think the challenges are greater, with what's happening with affirmative action, with what's happening with the economy and the resources that are available, traditional resources that have been available being taken away. It's going to become a call for organizations like NSBE to step up. And I think we're a grassroots organization when you look at the chapter. The strength of NSBE is not in the National Executive Board. The strength of NSBE is in those 35, 36,000 people. They need to be engaged. You are the soldiers for NSBE. You are the foot soldiers for NSBE. We are the ones that need to be on the corner making that change. And the reality is, as young adults, we are uniquely positioned because we still speak the language of our community. We can derive equations, we can do heat and mass balances, but we can also do the stanky leg, meaning that when we go into our communities to tell a story that they don't often see, we can speak the language and tell it in a way that motivates others. So NSBE, like I said, I apologize for not being able to make it. I've said it before. I've told a lot of people, being able to come back last year and speak at your chapter Baker was definitely one of the highlights of my year, past few years. I love the chapter. I would love to come back. If you want to reach out to me at Delano White, DELANO.white@gmail.com. Check out the new website. If you ever want to talk to me, I love NSBE. I would love to come up there. Send me an invitation. I always want to be back. And with that said, God bless. Go Blue. Have a great meeting and a great 2010. Love you.